Bill, turn off the tube. Way to go, Bill.
Good job, Bill. Proud of you. Were you sitting on He's trying to bomb. Patricia over here? He said it was yeah, he said it getting racist. Here's the thing about Penn. Yeah. Yeah. He's gonna knock to the fast right now. Of course. He's just on one of those fancy hands. What are these situations? Hey Bert, what's the nutrition called? It's not it's just Eastern. I'm not sure. I'm gonna call it a cat. I'm gonna call it a leisure hat. Or a leisure cat.
I think when it's just like a cat.
I feel like you have to say cat. You can't say cat.
Yeah, it's not a cat.
It's definitely a cat.
It's like a separate
That's
thing.
definitely a cat.
That is like a cat.
That's no cat. What's Patricia's hat called? No, it's a newsboy hat. Googling this stuff. It's a newsboy hat. No, it's a newsboy hat. It's a newsboy hat. Black cat. Whatever beret. Black cat. They call it beret.
Yeah, black cat.
504 black.
I feel like we're like doing like scaffolders.
Dearly.
They all just like look down and look over.
Just find out about it.
About 2 hours ago. One time it's kicked out. Think about it still. And those on the other side. They went up 41 to 10 and ran outside. Hit Texas all out. Make an example at ours. Once you guarantee it, Texas. Yeah, those were. You're back to me right. Yeah. There's not a lot of ways in this group. We'll take them. Early cash out keeps going up. Protect the ACC benefit. No, but wait till the title.
Nothing is guaranteed.
She lost to Boston College. Every week is a battle. Good battle. Wait till they take them out. They're supposed to lose Boston. Wait till they beat Georgia playing that game.
I would love to do it.
It's like Pitt. He almost did it too.
Yeah, you didn't see those?
Is it supposed to be like Robin Hood?
The first one is the worst one. You don't have that one.
No, there's no mystery.
I've got a crown.
This is gonna be the fun we watch, alright? They ended up with 212, 222. 175 of those games. They were up Japan. Was it good? I enjoyed watching. Louisville Clemson was fun. Friday. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, competitive and good.
righty, guys, we'll start here in the front row with Tim May.
Thanks, Mike. Ryan, what'd you get out of this game? This game was kind of all over the place when you kind of look back on it a little bit, especially at the start of the second half, but you had to be happy with the first half. Just what's your take on this game overall?
Yeah, pretty workmanlike, I think. I thought we had the right approach coming in. We found out kind of, I guess, this morning or today that, Nico may be out, and sort of that sort of changed things a little bit just in terms of our approach and, our game planning, but not in terms of our mindset and mentality. And that's the thing that, we want to make sure, as we've talked about before, and we bring it every day and have that look in our eye. And I thought we did that again tonight. We ended up, Jeremiah, had a certain amount of plays. We felt like, we're just going to hold him, make sure that, he's at 100% here over the next week. Decided to hold Carnell this week as well. And so, gave us an opportunity to play some of the younger guys. And I thought Brandon had a lot of nice, third down catches in there. And then we got able to get the run game going. So defense played strong. And then the kickoff return was great to get, on the field. A lot of hard work was done there to get that on the field and executed. So that was good. But I think it was businesslike, workmanlike. I thought we had the right approach to it. Certainly not perfect, but that's what we need to get to, because the precision and the execution that needs to happen here, over the next couple of weeks is going to be very important.
Over to the left, Rob Aller.
Yeah, Ryan, what was the situation with Jeremiah, and what does Brandon Innes mean to this team, especially in a game like this where your two guys were hobbled?
Yeah, well, Brandon is a captain, and he's has a big voice. He's a very competitive guy, and sort of has heart and soul that you want as a captain. And I think he's a very good football player. He's a competitive guy. He can do a lot of things, and great to see him. I guess he had 6 catches tonight, but those are big catches. A lot of them were, so that was great to see him do that in this game. And Jeremiah was just having a little bit of a nagging issue there that we just wanted to make sure that we were being really smart with him as we know what's coming down the road here. So
Over here to the right, Austin.
Ryan, you mentioned Nico not playing. It feels like, are you annoyed that happened? It seems like this defense wants a more meaningful test, and you guys want to challenge yourself, and that wasn't going to happen maybe without him out there.
Yeah, I mean, annoyed's not the word. You just you always want to compete against the best players you can, and we're excited about competing against Nico again. But if I say it's not about the opponent, it's about us, then it has to be that way. But hopefully he gets a chance to heal up soon and gets back on the field. I think he's a great player.
Front row, Bill Rabinowitz.
The run game got going today. What's your take on what got it going?
I thought the running backs ran hard. I think, it was on 33 carries for 222. And it looked like just about all those guys averaged over 7 yards a carry. But there was a lot of runs that I saw in there where we were making guys miss on the first level and the second level, in particular James. But it starts with the offensive line, and every play sort of looks the same to start with, but how are you finishing the plays? And so we're going to get on the film and make sure we're finishing plays downfield. Guys are finishing their guy downfield. The blocking on the perimeter has got to be strong, and that comes down to effort and mindset. Everybody's involved with the run game, and it starts with the offensive line, tight ends, but Julian's involved. But at the end of the day, it seemed to me like the running backs were getting downhill and running physical. Even I think on one of the touchdown runs by Bo, there was maybe a free hat in the hole, but that's the running game. And sometimes you got to be your own blocker, run guys over, and make them miss. That's how it works. But it was good. I mean, so I guess now looking at the last 2 weeks, we've had, just under maybe 80 runs. Because what do we have last week? 40, somewhere around there. So over 70 carries the last 2 weeks, which is great. And I think the more these young backs carry the ball, the better they're going to be. I said that all along. So we're going to need them, man, with the teams we're about to play.
Guys, we got Lorenzo Stiles in the back, and then we're going to come over here to Spencer.
Right, first kick return for this program in 15 years. What does it mean to be able to put one of those on film that you actually can pop one if they choose to kick to you guys?
Yeah, well, Lorenzo, you could see the speed. I mean, he was rolling, and but it takes buy-in from everybody, and we assign each special teams unit to a coach, and Nate Ebner has that group, and I thought he did a great job. First off, you have to get buy-in from the players. They have to believe that it's going to go. We haven't had many opportunities this year. We put that return in this week, and we knew we may not get that many opportunities at it. And Nate said, I really want to take a shot at this thing. And so when it was taken out a yard or two in the end zone, Lorenzo said, once I took it out, I knew I had to return it for a touchdown, so I better get running. He didn't have a choice. I agreed with him. But it's just the buy-in from everybody. That's how it works. Because all it takes is one guy. How many times have you heard a return? Well, if we just made one more block, it would have gone. And that's what it takes. So it's a mindset of guys doing their job. And when special teams can flip a game like that, certainly it makes a big difference.
All right, and final question for Coach Day will be Doug Lamoureux.
Ryan, I think fans remember several years ago when Jackson Smith and Jigba got hurt, and it was a lingering thing, and then it wound up that he didn't play the rest of the year, and they see two talented receivers who are dealing with stuff right now. Just like, what is the process that you guys go through with players trying to figure out when to sit them, when to play them, and trying to make sure something doesn't last the rest of the season?
Yeah, we rely on our medical staff, and just go with the doctors. They're the ones who know best, and then certainly the feedback that you get from the players is important as well, and just make the best decisions we can.
Is there anything that you are concerned long term about Carnell or Jeremiah right now?
No.
All right, Coach, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
And we'll bring up Julian Sayin. All right, we'll start over here with Steven.
Julian, how's the ankle? And can you what happened on that play?
Yeah, just ended up stepping on it a little bit weird, but I'm feeling good now. Not too bad, so just stepped on it a little bit weird.
And right next door, Dylan Davis.
Did it affect any way, like with your feet moving forward on that, like maybe how you were able to step into throws at that point? It was your left foot, correct?
Yeah, I don't think it did. No, I was able to be able to step into all my throws with power, and I had a couple misses tonight, and just mechanically it wasn't super perfect with those, but just was able to step into all my throws.
Island and Bryson and those guys, maybe guys that you don't have a lot of work with. So what would you think about your chemistry with those guys tonight?
Yeah, I think those young guys stepped up in a big way, and they did a really good job. They were able to go make some plays on the outside. Milan had that big catch on the glance, and then those guys made some great plays for us.
Over to the left, Bill Landis.
Julian, the throw at the end of the half to Brandon that you guys weren't able to connect on looked like Coach Day had some thoughts on that when he came back to the sideline. Just what was that conversation? What did you see on that play? What was he hoping to see on that play?
Yeah, he was he was talking about a check that we have, and I didn't end up checking that one. So I was a little bit off with Brandon. I gotta be better and get his eyes and let him kind of see the ball in the air. I threw it a little bit too early, so I gotta be a little bit better there and try to get us a touchdown before the half.
And right here in the front row, Jeff Gilbert.
Julian, what is your assessment of the running backs tonight and even over the last couple of weeks? And do you feel like we're starting to see their talent emerge?
I think they're growing each week, and I think we had 200 rushing yards tonight, and they all ran really hard and did a really good job. James, watching him hurdle that guy, it was awesome to see. I'm close with James, and it was awesome to see. And I think those guys do a really good job, and they've been challenged to run angry and run tough, and they do a really good job of that. And I think they show that tonight.
Front row, Bill Rabinowitz.
Julian, when you know that Carnell is not going to play and Jeremiah is questionable, how does that change? If it does, your mindset, do you feel any different? I mean, obviously those guys are elite receivers.
I don't think it changes my mindset. I have a lot of trust in the younger guys that we have on this in this receiver room, and they do a really good job. And we've practiced with those guys, and they show up in practice and they make great plays. So I think we just have a lot of trust in them, and we don't change our mindset. It's next man up.
Right next door.
Hey Julian, congrats on the win. How have you evolved? How have you seen yourself evolve? Obviously, the first half you guys were able to spread the ball around. But doing that the entire season, how have you been able to see yourself evolve, and especially as you go into these last 2 weeks, which is going to really be a grind?
Yeah, I think just getting more comfortable in the offense, and I think we're doing some different things tonight, spreading the ball around, playing with tempo, playing with quick game, and I think it was a good thing for us.
Over here, Joe Reedy.
Julian, how good was it just with this game, kind of to see the depth of the offense with as many guys who got the ball running, but also just with the receiving game too?
Yeah, I think, the running backs did a really good job, and we showed a lot of depth there, and the receiver room looked good tonight. I mean, those younger guys really stepped up for us big, and, whether they were blocking or making big-time catches to convert on, third down or fourth down, I think it was just it was awesome to see their work paying off.
Do a couple more over here, Joey. Go ahead.
Julian, in a game like this, do you miss having Carnell and Jeremiah, or do you like maybe getting to work with some other guys as well and kind of building depth and chemistry with the rest of that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Those two, Carnell and Jeremiah, are special players. So they're elite receivers, and but we have a good receiver room, and those young guys stepped up tonight.
All right, two more quick ones. Brendan first.
Julian, you're 10 games in. I'm curious, as you've worked on a lot of your game, where are you trying to get better? Where can you be better right now?
I think all around I can be better. I can be, getting through my reads quicker, helping us out in protection a little better, just being, helping us out in the run game more. I think, all around I'm just trying to improve and keep growing my game to the next level.
And then the final question over here, Dylan.
Julian, Brandon Ennis, for all of his talent, maybe gets kind of overlooked when you have Jeremiah and Carnell. For him to have a chance to be a featured guy in this offense today, I guess, how good does that feel for you to be able to help him get that? And I guess, what does Brandon Ennis mean to your locker room, even though he maybe gets overlooked sometimes?
Yeah, Brandon Ennis is a captain for us, and he shows up every day. So, we know when we get, we had a play designed for him today. We got a certain coverage, and I know he's going to win. I have a lot of faith in him. And he made a great catch on that. I think it was third or fourth down. And they had another fourth down conversion. So I think this whole offense is a ton of belief and faith in him, and he's a captain. He's a leader for us, and he brings a lot of juice to the offense.
Julian, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, buddy. Thank you.
That's it, Mike.
Yeah, I think we're going to wrap up Brandon. I think that's it. Yep.